Good morning, Boker Tov, buenos dias, sabah l'khair. This is Shanna Fold here with the Israel Daily News Podcast. I'm here to give you the headlines so you can get caught up quickly. You're listening, so you're already on top of your game. Survive and thrive, people. Knowledge is the best weapon. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020, which means that we are on episode number 98, inching toward 100 episodes here at the Israel Daily News Podcast. We are calling on our listeners to offer a sponsorship or contribution, which you can send over using the link in the show notes or by visiting anchor.fm/Israel Daily News/support. Now, let's get to the news. I'll start out with a few quick headlines for today before moving into a couple more in-depth stories. One is that Slovenia has declared Hezbollah an official terrorist organization. Hezbollah is the organization of fighters based in Lebanon, but ultimately working on behalf of Iran. Their main goal is to take down Israel. The Slovenian government says the group is a criminal and terrorist organization posing a threat to peace and security in the area. A delegation of 40 Bahrainis landed in Israel this morning. It's the second delegation from the kingdom in the last 2 weeks. The idea is for the Bahraini Minister of Industry to spend his 3 days in Israel trying to deepen economic and business interests for each country. An Israeli woman has been elected to serve on the United Nations Committee for the Rights of People with Disabilities. 43-year-old Oldelia Fitoussi is the first Israeli to take this position, and she really understands the people that she will be serving. She herself has muscular dystrophy and is wheelchair-bound. She achieved this role with support from 109 countries represented on the council. The country's unity government is at risk of dissolving, but Prime Minister Netanyahu is saying, hey, let's work things out. The two main parties, Blue and White, plus Prime Minister Netanyahu's Likud party, have not been able to agree on a single item since the beginning of their union in May. Blue and White leader Benny Gantz will take the baton and become the next prime minister unless the budget cannot be decided on by December 23rd of this year. That is the state budget we're talking about. This date is already an extension that was granted when the two parties could not get a budget together 4 months earlier. Netanyahu said, I call on Benny Gantz to go for a unity and avoid dissolving the Knesset. We don't need elections right now. We have accomplishments. There is a real effort to lower coronavirus morbidity, bring vaccines to all Israeli citizens, give more aid to businesses and citizens. We need to all do that together. It is hard to do that during elections. Well, I've been following this very closely, and I can tell you that it takes two to tango. Gantz is not the only reason for the unity troubles, and he has been urging Netanyahu to finalize a budget with him for months to no avail. Without having a budget, the state is leaving people around Israel without the aid that they need for various programs that see that Israelis have food, mental health services, and daycare for their kids, just to name a few of the things that Israelis are without due to a lack of a state budget. In September, Saudi Arabia declared that it will be allowing all foreign civilian flights to fly over its territory, but it did not specifically name Israel. Yesterday, Saudi Arabia announced that it officially approves Israeli airlines to fly over its airspace at all times. This will shorten flight times to the east dramatically and will finally allow Israeli airlines to offer direct flights to Dubai. This means that the Israel flight between Tel Aviv and Dubai, scheduled for today, will depart Ben Gurion Airport as planned. This comes after Emirati officials clarified to Israel's transportation ministry that as long as Saudi Arabia does not issue Israeli airline companies a permit to fly over its airspace, the UAE would not allow any Israeli flights to land in Dubai. Now, with flights already full, Israeli airline companies Israel, Arkia, and El Al are all prepared to fly thousands of Israelis to Dubai during the month of December. It is already happening, people. An Israeli delegation of 20 doctors and medical experts are flying to northern Italy today to help contain the spread of coronavirus in northwest Italy. The governor of the district approached Israel's ambassador to Rome with an urgent request for assistance due to a dramatic increase in the number of new infections and the lack of doctors and medical equipment in that area. The Sheba Medical Center in Ramat Gan, which is Israel's largest hospital, is responsible for choosing the doctors who will be helping local Italian experts. The 20 doctors on board will be from different fields of expertise in the medical industry. Italy has been dealing with the second wave of the virus since November, with 16,000 new infections diagnosed in the past 24 hours. The country is desperate for help. Thank you to all the Israeli doctors who are literally risking their lives today to help others. All right, well, that's it for today's news. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. Tel Aviv has a low of 12 degrees Celsius and a high of 22 degrees. That's 54 degrees Fahrenheit for the low, going up to 72 degrees for the high. Don't forget to subscribe to the Israel Daily News podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're hearing it from. I am everywhere. If you think that this show brings you value, if you think it makes you more educated at the dinner table or at lunch, send over a contribution. Today marks episode number 98, and we are getting close to 100 episodes. There's a link in the show notes where you can send a $1, $5, or $10 monthly contribution. The site is anchor.fm/Israel Daily News /support. Listeners to submit a donation of $5 per month for the year will receive a handwritten letter by me, mailed to you with a special note from me and a little poem inside that I will personally write. Listeners who send over a $10 monthly donation or more will get an access to a one-on-one Q&A with me via Zoom. I am working on releasing a mini book to celebrate 100 episodes. It will have all the learnings that I've gotten from the beginning of this project, and I will be selling merchandise. I'll let you know about those offers soon. As we reach nearly 100 episodes, please share this show with everyone you know. Special thanks to Candace Cohen, Jack Meltzner, and Orion Fitlovich for their contributions to the show. I'll send you off today with Come Out by Lee Eller. She's an American-Israeli actress and musician who just got married in the Holy Land. Mazal Tov, Lee. Have a great and productive day.
I'm looking right at you, a silhouette. They're talking about you, figuring out what's so hard to get inside and around you. White spaces